The long-term view is always important. We've gotten very short-term. We think about today, tomorrow, this week, last week's election, next month's paycheck. And that's a mistake. The only way you build growth is you build it over the long term. I mean, think what families do. Think about buying a home. It takes 30 years to buy a home. It takes a long time to build a career. It takes time to build a new company. It takes time to build an educational institution. It takes time to build a vibrant community. Those things don't happen overnight. It took 200 or 300 years to build American democracy, starting in England. You know, we're all in a hurry for the world to catch up and do it, you know, add water and have democracy. It doesn't work that way. And so the internet generation, I think, is particularly susceptible to the belief that you can do something overnight. I think history shows that you can, that it takes a long time to build an educated generation. You have the land-grant colleges in the 19th century, you have the GI Bill coming out of World War II. These people came home from the war, they'd interrupted their education, they'd gone to put their lives on the line, they came home, they needed to go back to school. So we educated a whole generation of GIs, and it paid off in all kinds of entrepreneurship and growth and a knowledgeable workforce that put America at the top of the world. That investment was worthwhile. It's long-term investments that pay off. You don't get it, as I say, you don't get progress by adding water and boiling or cutting along the dotted line. It doesn't happen that way.
That's beautiful.
Anything else? I told you only three, so I think.
Yeah, just the whole idea of the democratization of education. How,
Oh yeah.
how long lasting is that, and just the importance
You
of
can
it.
ask whatever question you want.
Talk about the democratization of opportunity.
Well, you know, people forget. People are now complaining about the American educational system. Public schools aren't good enough. Public colleges aren't good enough. In the first place, you're having trouble paying for it. You don't get anything for nothing. We're going to put the taxes in. You got to put the expense in to get quality. America, people have forgotten. America was the pioneer of universal public education. Not the Germans, not the Japanese, not the Chinese. We were the ones who said, we're going to educate everybody. We're going to make education available to everybody. Why is that important? Raised level of education means raised level of skills. Raised level of skills means higher productivity. Where are the good jobs? The good jobs are in high skills, high tech, high productivity, high wages. So you can export, you know, what you can make to the rest of the world. I mean, Boeing's aircraft, you know, the high tech cranes and electric power generators from a company like General Electric or Westinghouse. You know, the software that Microsoft develops, the chips. It isn't just the manufacturing of the chips, it's the inventiveness to create ways to make better chips with finer lines and faster speeds and so on. That all depends upon the brightness of people, their minds, their creativity. And so right at the heart of that is an educational system that fosters that inventiveness of mind. Now, when we look into the world, we see the Chinese and the Indians and some of the other nations beating us at the actual production, but we never see them beating us at the innovation. The innovation is what's coming out of our colleges and our universities and our land-grant schools. But what we've forgotten is you can't keep leapfrogging everybody else in innovation if you don't keep the production here. Engineers and producers need to interact. Innovators need to interact. The best person to articulate this is Andy Grove, who ran Intel, the computer chip corporation, for 20 years. And he says we're at risk now in America of losing our capacity to innovate because we're giving away our capacity to manufacture. Those are interconnected. You have to keep one to get the other. When you make a product, as you're making the product, you learn, oh, you could make it better this way. We could do a shortcut that way. We could redesign the product, or we could redesign the assembly line for making a car, which, by the way, Toyota did. Toyota beat the pants off the American automobile industry because they were so clever at figuring how to do the manufacturing better. What Andy Grove is saying, what Jeffrey Immelt, the head of GE, is saying, we're giving this away. The president of MIT, the president of Caltech, the president of Lockheed Martin, all kinds of educators and top CEOs from major corporations that compete globally say we're losing our edge unless we invest in the education, unless we keep that interconnection between education, manufacturing, and innovation working. It's a circular thing. One feeds the other, and we've got to keep that up. And other countries are starting to pay more attention to that. than we are. They're investing more. That means tax dollars sometimes. That means private investment dollars at other times. That means a combination at other times. But we're watching Singapore, Finland, China, India, Korea, Taiwan get ahead of us. When we get rated now on our capacity to innovate, we're no longer number one automatically. We've fallen in recent years from number one to like number four, number five. Part of it is we're not investing enough. We're not willing to spend the money. We got to think long term. We got to understand we're in a long term race. We can't expect immediate short term results, and we have to be willing to pay for it. There is no free lunch. And what's going on in America today, we think we can get away without spending.